this was an article that I wish I could say surprised me.
Yeah.
But doesn't.
Yeah, I agree with you. It did surprise me a little bit.
Well,
but yes, it goes with the times.
Well, and I think the reason why it's kind of surprising is because let me read the headline first of this article. Students at Baylor University try to shut down Matt Walsh's talk about Christian values. Matt Walsh is he's a writer, contributor at the news site The Daily Wire, which is a conservative news site, and he holds Christian values. And
Baylor University is a Christian university.
It is a very well-known university, a very well-known college in Texas, of all places.
Yeah.
And it's very well known throughout the United States. I mean, it's you'd be very hard pressed to not hear about Baylor University.
Yeah.
They are among the top especially of Christian colleges, but that's the thing. They are a Christian college, like you were saying.
They hold to a biblical standpoint on everything, pretty much. So.
And they have statements of faith.
Yeah.
They have a statement on what they believe on everything. Well, let's get into the article first, and then we'll get into into Baylor's statements. So the article starts off with conservative commentator Matt Walsh is getting pushback from students at Baylor University, a Christian university in Texas, for a speech he is scheduled to give Tuesday night defending the Christian values of protecting life, marriage, and gender. It goes on to say some Baylor students, however, are demanding Walsh's speech be shut down because of his anti-LGBTQ views, according to a Change.org petition that has garnered over 2,200 signatures as of Tuesday morning. So this has already happened by the time that we're filming this. The Change.org petition, obviously. So, while it doesn't surprise me, it's kind of baffling.
Yeah,
at the same time.
It is. Okay, and this is the kind of thing that I would expect and not be surprised by at a secular college.
Any other college
in
the United States, well, that doesn't have a Christian background or Christian foundation to it.
Exactly. But the fact that we have a Christian college here and there are students that have, chosen to go to that college, knowing that that is a Bible teaching, Bible believing, Christian value holding college. And when somebody who has those same views as the college holds comes to speak, they don't want that person to come. It's kind of weird to me.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. And we'll get into all the different viewpoints here in just a minute. But based off what you just said, let me read a little more of the article, because it goes on to say that the students, the Change.org petition says this cannot be allowed to take place. The petition reads, it can't be allowed to take place. It says, please remove this from campus events for the benefits of all LGBTQ plus students, alumni, and future students. This harmful hate speech must be kept off of our beloved campus. And then Walsh replied to that and said that this is shutting down of free speech, let alone at a Christian university in Texas. Yeah, it is. It's shutting down a free speech. It absolutely is. I mean, it is our right, here in the United States, to have the ability to say whatever we want, however we want, and and face the ramifications of maybe upsetting people. Yeah. And that's it. And it's starting to kind of turn into something to where it's like now it's like we're teetering on legal ramifications for saying certain things that people don't agree with. Yeah. And that's scary stuff.
Yeah. And it has to do with freedom of speech and freedom of religion.
Oh, too. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, we are both Christians. We choose our lifestyle, and our decisions are based off of God's word, what God has decided and what he's put in his word, the Bible. So that is what we come to our conclusions on. So we affirm what the Bible says about all these things Matt Walsh was going to speak about. However, when they say harmful hate speech towards the LGBTQ plus community, there is nothing in the Bible. If you're a Bible-believing Christian and you love Jesus, guess what? We are called to love every single person. We are not called to hate on people. So that is not our job, is to go in and spread harmful hate speech. The thing is here is there's nothing harmful or hateful being spread here. It is the fact that somebody has a different opinion or belief than somebody else, and that is all of a sudden when it just like these defenses go up, and it's like, okay, what you're saying is harming me because you don't believe what I believe. That's a very dangerous mindset to be in.
Well, it is, and the harm there is that you're harming my feelings.
Yeah.
There's no physical harm. There's no. I'll even say I don't think there's even mental harm.
Yeah.
You're just harming the feelings.
Yeah.
The immediate reaction to somebody going, I disagree with what you're saying, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm going to, in my mind, turn it into that you're trying to, like, erase me, hurt me physically with violence, through your speech.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you hate me. And like Lisa was just saying, we don't, as believers, as Christians, we are never, ever once called to hate in the Bible. There's going to be people within all beliefs, no matter what they are, even in, if you don't believe in anything, there's people that are just jerks. There's people that are they're just not all there. And they're just rude. Yeah. And they take things to the extreme. And you're going to find that everywhere. But the average Bible-believing Christian, we are not called to hate, we're called to love.
Yeah.
And we would never once advocate that anybody's speech, anybody's voice be torn down or forced to be removed from any platform because...
Even if we don't agree with what they're saying.
And that's the point. For the reason of us not agreeing.
Yeah.
Or for the reason of us, not maybe understanding someone else's viewpoint or, just having a different view and saying, your view is different than mine, so therefore you have to hate me in order to have a different view. But it goes both ways, because the fact that these students are saying that this can't be held, this Christian value speech can't be held on the campus because it's hate speech, because it differs from what they believe.
Yeah.
So do they hate Matt Walsh for having different views to them, or to the other students that want to go to the speech and
well, according to
something?
how they interpret harmful hate speech, yes. But
so
that's not actually harmful hate speech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the hate would have to go both ways.
Exactly.
But it's, and I'm not claiming that they hate Matt Walsh or anything like that. Yeah. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
We absolutely hope they don't hate him. But it seems that, what's the more, just on the outside looking in, what's the more hateful action? Trying to stop somebody from speaking
on their beliefs
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or, just saying, I don't necessarily agree with you, but you have the right to say what you want to say and to do this.
I'll choose not to go, or I'll choose to go, but I'm not going to agree with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what sounds more hateful?
The second option.
The first option.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, hello.
No, I meant that.
Come on.
I meant the first option, but okay, sorry guys.
I guess we know where she's coming from.
Whatever.
So I want to read more of this article.
Okay.
It says, you think that people would at least be open to hearing the message. So before anything, he hasn't said a single word, and people are already against it. So they don't know exactly what he was going to say or talk about. It says, Walsh told Fox and Friends Tuesday morning, "We know the situation on college campuses where oftentimes opposing viewpoints are not welcome, and students don't know how to deal with someone presenting a point of view that's foreign to them." And this goes both ways.
Yeah, it does.
Whether you're a conservative Christian or, the most liberal atheist, or, a liberal Christian, is that like, or
anything in between.
Conservative atheist. Everything. It doesn't matter what you are. Put all the different combinations together.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you are. To have the mindset, again, of going back to your opinion doesn't fit mine. Your viewpoint is different than mine. So therefore, you either hate me or you're wrong, or the way you're living your life is destructive towards everyone else around you. You're causing the death of humanity. Like, it's literally getting to the point where if there's not a single mindset, and let me just, they're trying to stop Matt Walsh's freedom of speech.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it is the very fact that we have freedom of speech in this country to be able to say what we want to say gives them and affords them the very right to say that they want to stop Matt Walsh from having his freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So you're using a system to try to stop someone else's ability to use the same system.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, same right.
Yeah.
So that's never made sense to me.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. A little creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it does go on to say, although Baylor is a Christian institution, Walsh points out that there are many Christian in name only schools. Unfortunately, it sounds like a lot of news.
It's been happening.
Yeah, there's been a lot of news with Christian colleges, colleges with a Christian foundation or a Christian founding, have been getting a little weird.
Yeah.
I guess, in terms of, kind of standing for what they claim to believe in their, mission statements and stuff like that. So, and it says, especially when it comes to the culture on campus. He said many are openly hostile to Christianity. And this is a guy that would know. It goes on to say he's a Daily Wire contributor. The Daily Wire contributor was invited to Baylor by the Young Americans for Freedom chapter on campus. And despite the petition, Baylor officials support Walsh coming to campus. So, and this guy would know. We're not super familiar with Walsh's work in general, but I have seen him, quite a few times dealing with this almost exact same type of thing.
Yeah.
He travels around to colleges in different places and gives, speeches that are based on Christian values. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And, for someone like him that does this for, which is a large part of his living, to say that even the Christian campuses he's, going to give speeches are openly hostile towards Christianity.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. It's really disheartening.
Yeah, exactly.
As a believer, but also just as an American, honestly, who supports freedom of speech and freedom of religion. We believe that for everybody, and that's also for people who don't, hold the same belief system we do. So it is sad to see so much division. Yeah, so much division in our country right now, just based off of, oh, you don't believe exactly what I believe. Now I can't associate with you. You can't be my friend.
I know.
Oh, man.
And I've heard, my parents or my dad, and I'm sure your parents, our grandparents, great grandparents. You'll hear anybody that grew up, 30 years ago and beyond. I think you would hear every single one of them say that sometimes their closest friends had different viewpoints, and their neighbors. There was like there was just a culture of just, you know, neighborly love and just, you know, I guess loving one another. It was just ingrained in the culture, whether you were a Christian or not. It's like one of the things you did, you were just kind, nice. People drove by, you were walking down on the sidewalk, people drive by you, you're waving at them.
Yeah.
You're waving at everybody that goes by you because it's just polite.
Yeah.
And there was just that culture back then. And I'm not saying that we were alive then. Even during the 90s, it just felt...
Oh, yeah.
Man, I miss the 90s.
A lot has changed just since we've been kids and growing up.
This
Even
last
since we were in
handful
high
of years,
school, I feel like things have changed so much.
This last like 5-6 years, it has gone haywire.
Yes.
In this country. And... you know, there was just a certain respect that you afforded to everybody, whether you agreed with them or not. It was just 10, 15 years ago and beyond. It was just a different culture that I wish was, you know, we were still practicing. It just seems like there's so much, you know, people are longing so much for something to, I guess, justify the hurt.
Yeah.
That's you know, going around, that's running rampant in people's lives today.
Yeah.
You know, people are so hurt and angry, just upset at everything, and to justify it, take it out on everybody around you.
Yeah.
So if you think something different than me, then I'm already upset.
It's like an outlet.
Yeah, I'm already upset. I already hate a lot of things because I feel a lot of things hate me.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you think differently than me, then you hate me. And if you hate me, then that means that you wouldn't care if I died. And if you don't care that I died, then that means that you would probably kill me. And if you would kill me, that means I got to be in defense mode because you're coming at me and it's like I got to survive here.
Yeah.
So it's like we're all in like survival mode. And it's just, it gets really tiring.
Yeah.
After a while. It's really sad. And I think that we should absolutely be praying for rejuvenation in our country spiritually.
Yes.
But just as a whole, just that our character as a nation would be restored. As, you know, we are the greatest nation on earth in Israel.
Yeah.
And we have done something and created something special in this country, and it feels like it's slipping away.
Yeah.
And that's extremely sad to witness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our nation, whether you believe it or not, if you go back and look at the history, you will find it. Our nation was founded on Christian values. Yes. And found, you know, one nation under God. That's literally what it comes down to. And when we start chipping away and slipping away from those Christian values and removing God from our nation, that's where it goes downhill, and that's where our division and what's going on right now, all this chaos we're seeing around us.
Absolutely. And then let's end with, you know, the university did respond to this, the higher ups, and they said, while Baylor is a university that supports and encourages free speech, we have an additional responsibility as a Christian university to appreciate differing opinions and backgrounds in a respectful and compassionate manner that extends grace as Christ did. Exactly.
Yeah, that was really well put.
Yeah. We may not always agree, but we are still the Baylor family. Baylor University president wrote in a statement, that was Linda Livingston, the Baylor University president, and she said, and we all need to do better.
That's true. That is true.
I think we could all do better. Every side. It doesn't matter if you're conservative, liberal, everything in between, Christian, atheist, everything in between. It doesn't matter what you believe. We could all just do better at being kind. and just, I guess, accepting is a loaded word.
Yeah.
Because when you start getting into saying accepting, then, you know, where do you draw the line on accepting? But then where do you draw the line on not being accepting of what someone is saying?
Yeah, it's the same thing with tolerance too.
Oh, exactly.
Tolerance, you know, when you actually look at what the word means versus how it's being used today. what tolerance means is that you can accept that somebody has different beliefs with you, and you can still be around them, be friendly with them, associate with them, have a relationship with them. What's being used today as tolerance is that you need to accept what somebody believes as your own beliefs as well. And if you don't believe everything that they believe, then you are intolerant.
Yeah.
You know, so...
It's hateful.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the opposite of hate. To be able to imagine sitting down and having a conversation with somebody and being able to speak exactly how you feel in your heart, and for them to, give their, differing point of view, but to be able to accept, like, I'm going to share what I believe. And if they don't grasp it, or if they don't take it and accept it as their own belief, then I'm going to accept that, hey, I shared what I believe, but this is a fellow human being that I'm living on earth with, and I want to treat them as kindly as I would want to be treated. So that's like...
Let them hold to their beliefs and have their rights, just as I want to hold to my beliefs and have my rights as well. And
I think everybody wants to be able to convert people to what they believe.
Yeah.
Like I love, if you love certain food and you get, and you share that food with somebody, they're like, oh, that tastes disgusting. I love sardines. Okay? And not a lot of people love sardines, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but I want people to enjoy sardines with me because they're really good for you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I want to convert them. Like, okay, try it with maybe a little bit of this on it.
Yeah.
Still I don't like it.
Just give it a taste.
Just try it. Yeah. So we all have that want to convert type mindset. But the thing is that conversion isn't up to us. And especially as believers, we should share our faith in love.
We are called to.
We are absolutely called to. And we should share what we believe. And if there's no conversion in that moment, that is not up to us. That is a seed that we plant that the Holy Spirit starts to, cultivate when that time is ready in that person's heart. If there's never a conversion, we should always be praying for people's hearts, their souls, and their purity. But the thing is that it's not up to us to hate people that aren't converted.
Yeah.
Or to be upset or mean or hateful or, we should completely welcome them with open arms to whatever we're a part of.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
So after that response, Walsh notes that if students are hurt by his presence or words on campus, and then he gives, a solution, which is it's pretty kind of out there. It's kind of out there. His solution was that they don't have to attend the speech. Wait, all this time.
You mean I'm not forced to go to the speech?
Wait, I think if we would have known this whole time, this nation would have been in a better place. Why hasn't this been like? Is that in the Constitution? I'm sorry, we're being fictitious.
Wait, fictitious.
Fictitious.
Fictitious means like fictional, right?
Fictitious.
Facetious.
Facetious.
Sarcastic.
Sarcastic. Let's go with sarcastic. I don't know my words. And then it says, I hope that people who disagree come to the speech and at least hear me out. And that's what we were just talking about, just hearing each other out.
Yeah.
And not forcing the conversion on people to believe what you believe. And then he said, I hope they'll walk away realizing that it's possible to be pro-life, it's possible to be pro-traditional marriage, and not hate anyone.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we all have to practice not hating.
Yeah.
But absolutely, pro-life and pro-traditional marriage and two genders, there's a stigma about it now that even though it's been the belief for how long, and I understand, and we understand that cultures have had varying different viewpoints, some weird, some not, all that kind of stuff throughout history. You'll find corruption and sin and everything.
Yeah.
But the thing, it's since in especially the foundation of our country, it has been the traditional view is that, what the family has looked like the past couple hundred years.
Yes.
At least. And what, our anatomy tells us that we are for thousands of years. And
hate to bring it up too, but science, science proves it as well. I know we don't like to look at the facts, but...
Yeah. Science, it is on our side on that one.
Yeah.
So, and just to end it off, let's read the statement on human sexuality that Baylor has on their website.
Yeah.
They have many statements on what they believe. This is their one on human sexuality.
So this is under the student policies and procedures. So when you're a student at Baylor University, this is the stuff you read, you go through, and you acknowledge that this is the college's stance on this. Baylor University welcomes all students into a safe and supportive environment in which to discuss and learn about a variety of issues, including those of human sexuality. The university affirms the biblical understanding of sexuality as a gift from God. Christian churches across the ages and around the world have affirmed purity in singleness and fidelity in marriage between a man and a woman as the biblical norm. Temptations to deviate from this norm include both heterosexual sex outside of marriage and homosexual behavior. It is thus expected that Baylor students will not participate in advocacy groups which promote understandings of sexuality that are contrary to biblical teaching. That's interesting. The university encourages students struggling with these issues to avail themselves of opportunities for serious confidential discussion and support through the Spiritual Life Office or through the Baylor University Counseling Center. So right there, as a student, when you're choosing to enroll at Baylor and choosing to go, you see this as Baylor's stance, that Baylor does hold to the biblical view
on marriage and gender.
Exactly. This is specifically talking about marriage, but it's just interesting that we still see a fight against somebody coming to speak on this exact topic from groups that are saying that it is harmful and hateful.
Yeah, it's getting strange out there. So it's kind of it's disheartening, and it's getting to the point where it's really not surprising, which isn't a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. This should be surprising.
Yes.
And it's not, but
even the Bible tells us about this.
Yeah, it does.
To expect this type of stuff. So I would say, as for believers out there, for other Christians, keep holding to what the Bible says and keep choosing to love those around you. That is how we can spread Jesus, is through our action and our love. Whether people choose to give us our rights and let us believe what we want to believe, we can still give them the opportunity to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A huge part is being an example.
Yes, exactly.
You have to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
So, as the old saying goes, practice what you preach.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be it for today. I'm Brylan.
I'm Lisa.
And we had nothing to say. So,
or did we?
Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell. And we're going to have episodes like this come out with all kinds of different things in the future. So
if you like this video, give it a like. If you disliked it, dislike it.
Oh, dang, that was a threat. Was that a threat?
No.
That's hate speech.
I'm giving them their right to their freedom of speech to like or dislike.
But I didn't like that you said dislike. So is that hate speech?
Oh my gosh.
So hey, we'll see you on the next episode of Nothing to Say.